Hey English 232, Miss Brewer here for your welcome video to our literature course. So you will see that sometimes I'll utilize the YouTube link to do a video, and other times I'll utilize Blackboard Collaborate if I have some things I want to go through and share my screen with you. So your videos will kind of bounce back between those two platforms. Anytime I use YouTube, please feel free to, you don't have to watch me talk. Click out of it, leave me talking in the background, and go through Moodle with me as I go through the information I want to go over with you. So right now, if you want to click over, make sure you're looking at your Moodle page. You are in your American Literature course. This is an upper level English course, and it is American Literature. Literature is in the title, meaning you're going to read a lot of American literature in this course. American Literature 2 is essentially from early 1900 to present day, so it covers a vast amount of time. But one thing that I try to do in my American Literature course, which I think you'll find, is we do not solely focus on the canon of the old dead white dude writing. We do have him in here because that is a very important canon of literature. However, in America, there are many voices, and oftentimes we don't cover those voices when we talk about the literature for our country, and so I try to make sure that I cover those voices in here. So you won't just be hearing from, you know, the white male writers of our time. You'll hear from black men writers. You'll hear from black women, you'll hear from white women, you'll hear from the LGBTQIA community, indigenous writers, because they did not only write before, you know, the Puritans came over. They are still indigenous people to this day in this country creating art. And so we're going to try to cover as many voices as we can. I won't get to every single voice, but I just want to make sure that we kind of have a more broad view of what American literature looks like than what we're often taught in public school. So back to Moodle to go over some housekeeping items. Here you'll see at the very top, my name, Siobhan Brewer, as your instructor. It's pronounced Siobhan. You won't use my first name, but that's how it's pronounced in case you're wondering. My office is in the Waller building on campus, across from the Dean's Suite. You'll see my student hours are there listed. What that means is those are hours that I'm here for you as the student. That does not mean that's the only time you can contact me to meet or talk or go through things. That just means that I'm guaranteed to be available to you if I'm on campus during those times. Our course information, I'm going to open up the syllabus and just go through a couple of housekeeping items here. So you'll see my contact information here. If you have any issues, please be sure to reach out to me so we can try to resolve them. If they're not resolved to your liking, you can feel free to contact the chair of the English department, Ms. Keffer. If she doesn't handle it the way you like it, feel free to contact the chair of our division, Dr. Whelan. And of course, we have our VP of Instruction, Dr. Maddox Fisher, who you could contact if you needed to as well. There's a breakdown here about what we're going to be doing in our course to total the 48 hours of contact that we have. So we will take some time reviewing MLA format. We'll talk about realism, modernism. We'll talk about Harlem Renaissance, postmodernism, the contemporary period, and also recent literature. You will write 2 major essays in this class. In addition to that, you'll be participating in discussion forums, journals, mini essay assignments, but 2 major essays in which we are going to look at this theme, this idea of what is the American dream and who is it available to, if anyone. So for grading in the course, you're broken down into 4 sections. Your coursework is 25% of your grade. This includes journals, quizzes, outlines, rough drafts, peer edits, mini essay assignments, essentially anything that's not a discussion forum or a formal essay. Your discussion forums by themselves are 25% of the course, so do make sure that you are paying attention to my expectations for the forums and that you are really putting that work in. That's a quarter of your grade. Your first essay is the MLA formatted literary analysis outline and also a final draft of your paper. And it'll be about the first, I'll go over the prompt for that particular essay. And then your second essay is equivalent to your final exam, and it is 30% of your grade, and the essay by itself is the grade. So it's really imperative that you put the work in on that final essay. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit under course policies. We are expecting in English 232 that you understand MLA format thoroughly. You've already taken 111 and 112. You understand the recursive writing process, meaning brainstorming, organizing, writing a draft, editing it, revising it, not turning in the first thing that you write to me. You understand formal and academic language. I'll review these things, but it is expected that you use those in your writing for this course. You know how to analyze literature. You know how to gather and synthesize information and back up your writing with research. So if you scroll down to course contacting your instructor, this is where we start the course policies that are particular to my course. So the best way to reach me is obviously email. When you email me, make sure that you are utilizing your LCC email address. Make sure that you utilize this format. You have a salutation, you identify yourself, you tell me that you're in English 232, you want clarification on what assignment and what are your specific questions. Don't just write me an email that says, why is my grade like this? Okay, specifically ask me the questions that you have. Also, you'll see in bold there, my communication for this course takes place between you, the student, and myself. Even if you have a FERPA form on file, that means that I can talk to your parent, not that I have to. And any communication that occurs between myself and the student occurs between you and me. So if your parent has a question and they email me, I'm going to reach out to you because it's your education and you should be responsible for that. Submitting assignments in this class, you must submit your assignments in Moodle. For any of your formal assignments, they need to be completed in Microsoft Word. That means thesis and outline, draft or rough drafts, final drafts, they need to be submitted in a Word document. I do not accept links for assignments. Don't submit a link for a journal or anything like that. It needs to be either in Moodle in the text box or uploaded as a Microsoft document. Your late work procedure, I have a due date and a deadline for your assignments. Your deadline is 5 days after the due date. After your deadline passes, I do not accept the work. If I grade it before the deadline, which could happen, I will enter a 0. If you turn it in and you're still within the deadline, you need to email me and let me know that you've turned that assignment in so I can go back and grade it. However, when it is turned in late, you do lose 10% per day for the assignment that's turned in late. Your final essay only has a 24-hour grace period, not 5 days, and it is a 15-point deduction. So let's say you turn in your first essay 3 days late, and I grade your essay and you received a 75 on it. Not bad for an upper level English course. It's a C, it's average. But because you turned it in 3 days late, I then deduct 30 points from that and it becomes a 45. So it's really important that we're turning our assignments in on time. For MLA expectations, I do expect that students in an upper level literature course understand the importance of documentation. They understand MLA format. They know how to document when analyzing literature. Again, I'm going to review the basics for the course, but if you turn in an assignment and it does not have any parenthetical citations, it will be considered plagiarized and it will receive an F in this course. So make sure that you are citing your information. It's also important that you guys cite when you're completing your discussion forums, when you're completing your journals. All of that practice is going to help for you when you write your 2 major papers in this course. Our plagiarism policy is reviewed here. LCC has a very strict plagiarism policy. The first instance of plagiarism, whether intentional or unintentional, is a 0 on the assignment. The second instance of plagiarism is an F in the course, so make sure that you are not committing plagiarism. If you wish to withdraw from the course, be sure that you reach out to me as soon as possible so that I can process that for you. There's other information in the syllabus. This is a contract between you and I, so make sure that you do go through the entire syllabus when you have a moment. You'll see announcements listed under the syllabus. I'm back in the Moodle page. I utilize the announcement feature often, so you can find announcements in there. Those announcements also go to your email address, so make sure you're checking your Lancer email address regularly. I'm going to come back to American Literature essay assignments in just a minute. There's some more information about sending emails, a note on discussion forum grading. I am going to talk about that in depth before you guys do your first discussion forum, your first textual discussion forum. But please be aware that when I grade your discussion forums, it is expected that you are meeting the word count minimums, that you are referring to the text, that you have substantial peer replies, not just, yes, I agree, the sky is blue, what a lovely shade of blue it is. You need to be adding to the discussion, and I'll go more in depth on that when we get into our first content related discussion forum. There is support available for you here. We have tutoring. You can drop your papers off to have them reviewed before you turn in final drafts to me. I encourage you to do so. If you feel like you need live tutoring sessions, please reach out to me so that I can refer you to tutoring. Your distance education contacts are here. We also have resources available. There's a free download for Microsoft Office. No reason for you not to turn in your assignments through Microsoft Word because we have given it to you for free. You may choose to use the library resources. If you do, there's a link here for you, and I highly, highly, highly encourage every student to utilize Grammarly before they turn in final assignments for any course. And you have access to the full version of Grammarly. You just need to use your LCC email to sign up. Some helpful tips for completing English 232. Make sure you watch all of these lecture videos in their entirety. I encourage you to take notes because I will review some important information in the lecture video. You'll need to complete your enrollment assignment. As soon as you finish this video, make sure you go complete your enrollment assignment so you secure your spot in this course. Make sure that you're following directions. All right, so make sure that you're reading the instructions and you are following the directions to a T. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. So what you guys want to go ahead and do now is complete your enrollment assignment. You will see I'm asking you to complete a journal. Journals for this class usually are 200 to 300 words. However, some I will ask you to write more on. So please pay attention to the word count in the instructions. For this first journal, 200 to 300 words, I just want you to give me a paragraph or two and let me know about something that you have read, whether it's been for a class or on your own for enjoyment, that has had a profound effect on you. What did you learn from that reading? What about that text did you enjoy? Okay, it can be any kind of text, a poem, a memoir, a novel, an article, something that stood out to you. Hopefully you've read something in the last 5 years that has stood out to you, so please tell me a little bit about that. Throughout this week, or throughout these weeks, you will see that you will have some assignments. If you have more than one assignment, I will make a note that it is your attendance assignment. If it's only one assignment for that week, that is your attendance assignment. And what that means is if it's not completed on time, you will be marked absent for the week. 2 consecutive weeks or 3 weeks total absent in this class, you'll be withdrawn from the class. So it's imperative that you are completing your assignments and you are completing them on time. If you guys, again, have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm super excited about what you guys are going to read this semester. I love pretty much every piece that I've chosen for you guys to look at. And so I hope that you guys like it too. And I look forward to some really in-depth, fruitful conversations about the literature with you.